Faculty of Earth Science was established in 2012 in one of the youngest public universities in Malaysia. It is our vision to spearhead academic, research, and entrepreneurial excellence in Earth Science through technological advancement.
Faculty of Earth Science currently offer 5 programs, which are 3 undergraduate programs, with 1 pre-degree science program and another 1 science foundation program. Since the niche of FSB is Earth Science, which is clearly reflected by the faculty name, the 3 undergraduate programs are focused on geoscience, natural resources, and environmental sustainability.
Environmental Sustainability Program covers a wide range of disciplines related to the physical environment, such as the atmosphere, water, and soil. Besides that, we have integrated social, management, and economics aspect in our curriculum. The Natural Resources Program offers excellent opportunity for students to gain in-depth knowledge on biodiversity, ecology, conservation, molecular genetics of natural resources, and the management of our precious tropical rainforests.
In Geoscience program, we conduct various fieldwork where students collect geological data and we incorporate the latest digital technology to analyze this collected data to solve pressing real-world problems. If you happen to see groups of students wearing bright orange jackets around, that's definitely our future geoscientists.
Science Preparatory Department is a new department and need to taking care and manage of 2 academic programs. Both of these programs will need to learn biology, mathematics, chemistry, and also physics.
To stay relevant, you have to be flexible. Besides flexible, we have to be unique. In Faculty of Earth Science, we have multidisciplinary research. Recently, we are focusing on the research on minerals and the fossil. Other than that, we use remote sensing and GIS in monitoring forest and urban planning. This research has been successfully done within our capacity of staff, supported with the grant that we received from government and other agencies.
We are optimistic to become one of the best Earth Science faculty in Malaysia, Asia, and the world.
The honorable speakers and distinguished participants from various institutions, agencies, and industries, and also countries that join this webinar via online. Good morning and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this prestigious Faculty of Earth Science International Webinar series, which is entitled The Theme About the Conservation of RAFFLESIA in Southeast Asia. We are organized by the members of Faculty of Earth Science, University Malaysia Kelantan. My name is Nur Hizami Hassan from the Faculty of Earth Science. Will be a moderator for this international webinar series. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Faculty of Earth Science members for arranging this webinar, and it's been an honor for me to be a moderator for this event. For the audience information, this webinar actually is live on the Facebook UMK official. So I would like to request, please share this webinar with your colleague, with your institution, or with your friends. Right. Before we start our webinar, I would like to give some information, which is for those who join us right now. This webinar will provide you a certificate of participation. So please fill up the Google link that will share later in the Facebook comment room. And also do not forget, if you have any questions, you can put down the question in the comment room later, and I will read them as soon as our speaker's session is completed. So on this occasion, we shall have outstanding presentation from our prominent presenter, whom I believe shall enrich our insight and knowledge regarding the theme of this webinar, which is we will talk about or focus on the majestic creature, which is RAFFLESIA. So for today's webinar, we have two speakers, which is an expert in their field of research or study respectively. Allow me to introduce the first speakers for this webinar that are special invited. We invited from our neighborhood country. So our first speaker is Associate Prof. Dr. Agus Susatia from University of Bengkulu, Indonesia, or friendly we call as Pak Agus. So before I invite him, let me read little information about him. Pak Agus obtained, or Professor Associate Prof. Dr. Agus obtained his first degree at University Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta in 1986, and then completed his Master Science in Botany at Michigan State University East Lansing, United States of America in 1993. And finally, he was completed his PhD in Botany also from the University Kebangsaan Malaysia in 2007. He published various articles and journals related to RAFFLESIA, and one of the latest publication is The Growth of Flower Bud, Life History and Population Structure of RAFFLESIA annodi in Bengkulu. He also published a new species named example as a RAFFLESIA bengkuluensis in 2005, and also next RAFFLESIA lawangensis. Forgive me, Pak Agus, if it's not a correct pronunciation. Lawangensis. And the third one is RAFFLESIA kemumu in 2017. All right. So without any further ado, I would like to kick things off by welcoming our first speaker with the title of his presentation is Conservation of RAFFLESIA in Bengkulu Province, Indonesia. So, Prof, selamat siang.
Okay.
How are you?
Okay. Good, very good.
Alhamdulillah. All right. So I think this is your session. So the virtual floor is your, Prof.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you. It is my honor to be invited to be a speaker on the international webinar from Kelantan UMK. So this is the title of my presentation is Conservation of RAFFLESIA in Bengkulu. This is based on our experience, almost 10 years to do conservation of RAFFLESIA in Bengkulu. Before that, we know that pepatah Melayu tak kenal maka tak sayang. Let me introduce myself. I got the BSc on forestry from Gadjah Mada University, and then I went to Michigan State University and got my master in 1993, and then go to Malaysia for my PhD. I got a PhD in 27 from Faculty of Science and Technology. Actually, I have 3 published new describe RAFFLESIA lawangensis, RAFFLESIA congruensis and RAFFLESIA kemumu. The first two new RAFFLESIA involved my mentor, my main advisor, late Professor Kamarudin Matsaleh. I believe it was from Kelantan, so I have a connection with the Kelantan people, and also that's why I like the RAFFLESIA and also the people of Kelantan. So actually, the two of the new species we described together with Pak Kamarudin. First from RAFFLESIA punctuensis 2005, and then RAFFLESIA lavangensis on 2010 with here is my research is my adventure. The man with yellow circle is the late Professor Kamarudin Matsaleh. I guess people who study RAFFLESIA know this respective professor. He was my main advisor, and usually every weekend we went to Pahang, I guess, and try to take a look the RAFFLESIA. I believe the RAFFLESIA country every weekend. That's why this Pak Kamarudin bring me to RAFFLESIA. The RAFFLESIA. Yes, he was a very nice people. The other guys from in front of late Kamarudin is I believe is Matros Abu Kori. He was also from Kelantan. So in my class, in my lab, all the people is come from Kelantan, I guess. Here is my book. It's kind of an old book published in 2011. You can download free and in Bahasa, I guess. You cannot, I guess it's easier. There is no different Bahasa Indonesia and Bahasa Melayu, I guess. If you can, it is free. You can download. So before I go to the topic of conservation of RAFFLESIA, I will let you to know that Indonesia has many RAFFLESIA. In Sumatra, we have 13 RAFFLESIA, and in Java, we have 3 RAFFLESIA. In Borneo on Kalimantan, we have 3 RAFFLESIA. I believe that this is it's going to be like if we take a look in Sumatra, maybe we can find another new species. Here is in Sumatra, we have 13 species, I guess. The interesting thing about the RAFFLESIA in Sumatra is we can find that RAFFLESIA along Bukit Barisan Pegunungan mountains. So we have 13 species. We have the new report RAFFLESIA from Anambas Island. This is island between peninsular Malaysia and Sabah, and we assume that the RAFFLESIA in the Anambas RAFFLESIA country. And I believe if we take a look the morphological, maybe we can describe, for example, the new species. This is a very recent report, the flowering RAFFLESIA on Anambas. So in Sumatra, we have 13 RAFFLESIA species. The first geographical distribution is RAFFLESIA arnoldii. So Bengkulu also the most frequent reporting flowering RAFFLESIA arnoldii in Indonesia. That's why the conservation of RAFFLESIA arnoldii in Bengkulu become the most important for various reasons. So for conservation RAFFLESIA, we consider four elements for conservation RAFFLESIA at Bengkulu. The first is we take a look habitat and population attribute of RAFFLESIA. The second one is the national policy on conservation of RAFFLESIA. The next one, we recognize the power of networking, and then the last one is we use technology. We recognize the importance of social media. So all of these four elements will be considered for good conservation for RAFFLESIA. So first, habitat RAFFLESIA. If we take a look at reporting flowering RAFFLESIA in Bengkulu, we have at least 18 sites that has been reporting the flowering RAFFLESIA. The problem is most of the reporting, the site of the reporting flowering RAFFLESIA is in the private land. So this is one problem of the conservation of RAFFLESIA. If RAFFLESIA site were in private land, then we have several constraints to conserve RAFFLESIA, because if we go to that land, the site of RAFFLESIA in the private land, then we have permission. We have to take a permission and the owner of the private land, and then we cannot control the population and also protection of the RAFFLESIA on that private land. This is the one of main concern our program, our activity to conservation of the RAFFLESIA in Bengkulu. So this is the population ecology of RAFFLESIA. If we want to design the good conservation action, then we consider population. So there are two elements of population. The first is population size, which is how many flower buds within one population or within one host plant. The second one is the population structure, and the last one is mortality. How many RAFFLESIA that will be died during lifetime. So this is the three population consideration that has to be take serious for design conservation. Population size. Population size is the number of the flower bud within one population. So we take a look at 20 sites of flowering RAFFLESIA already in Bengkulu, and then we average. So the average of population size of RAFFLESIA already is 7.6 flower bud. It's very small. The second one is if we take a look the 20 site, the smallest population size is 1 flower bud. The largest population size is 22 flower buds. And then the last one is majority, 80% of the population we find in the 20 sites is less than 10 flower buds. It is very small. If we take a look the theory, we say that a small population tend to be sensitive for local extinction. This is the one thing. The second one is small population has actually generally has low adaptability to changing environment. This is the two things that we take a look at very crucial for population to ensure the future population. Population structure, we take a look the flower bud based on diameter class of flower bud, and then we take a look that the population mostly dominated by small flower bud with less than 9 centimeter in diameter. This is a very interesting thing because the small diameters also has a high mortality. So you can imagine that the population was dominated by small flower buds, but in the same time that flower bud has a high mortality. The overall, the average mortality is going to be like 47.8% for segment observation, and then new recruitment during that time 30%. 30%. So if we compare mortality and new recruitment, then we can estimate that this population tend to be declining through the time. So this is very important because maybe if there is no disturbance, also there is no any illegal logging on that site, then population tend to be declined through the time. So the other important thing is the carrying capacity of the host plant. If there was an article by Bergman said that carrying capacity, the maximum number of flower buds on one host plant is uh, up to 15 flower buds. So basically, Rafflesia by nature has small population size. By nature, this population size tend to be sensitive to local extinction. So that's the problem. So we have habitat Rafflesia mostly in private land. We have a problem with the population of Rafflesia. Then by that uh, by then uh, by considering habitat Rafflesia and also the population pattern of Rafflesia, and then government Indonesia try to set up a strategic and action plan for conservation of Rafflesia. It was designed with the international seminar on Rafflesia in Bengkulu, and then we came up with a book called Strategic and Action Plan for Conservation of Rafflesia. Basically, this document is a blueprint of guideline conservation for Rafflesia. Um, discussing about survey, monitoring, population analysis, and also ex situ and in situ conservation, and then stakeholder who are responsible for conservation, and then also strategic action plan also recognize the importance of involvement local people and ecotourism. So basically, I would like to discuss the red one, involvement local people for conservation. This is important. We believe that conservation will be successful if there is a involvement of local people. So this is our experience on conservation of Rafflesia. Today we have two principles. The first principle is that we believe that the best way to conserve Rafflesia depends on participation of local people. You see that because why this is important, because the 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 most reporting flowering Rafflesia came from private land. The second one is networking. This is we recognize the importance the networking, and then we have also recognize the power of social media. This is important. Everybody right now we have a smartphone, even in the village across the forest. Then we utilize social media as a tool for conservation of Rafflesia. And then we say the ecotourism should be one of an alternative for conservation of Rafflesia. The second principle we believe is that conservation will be successful if the local people get economic benefits. So this principle, then we came out with ecotourism, which is exploration, natural resources, culture, local food or fruit for economic benefit for local people with RAFFLESIA as of like resources. We imagine the ecotourism is like the train. The locomotive is RAFFLESIA because this is a flag, the flag species. RAFFLESIA is a well-known local, national, and also globally. So the other thing is we explore conservation, local scenery, local culture, and local food. So this is integrated thing about ecotourism. So this is the basic role that we have used for conservation RAFFLESIA right now. The next one is building network for conservation. We have what we call Komunitas Peduli Puspalangka, or community for caring rare flower. This is the main actor for conservation RAFFLESIA in Bengkulu. What is KPPL, Komunitas Peduli Puspalangka? This is a volunteer group, and the members from different background, from high school student, college student, teacher, academics, and also coffee grower. So this is a very different background, different ages, and as well on different race and culture. So what the story is, some of the people, young people in December 2010 uh, 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 come to me and discuss about the conservation of RAFFLESIA, and then we develop what we call a KPPL network. So we the first thing that we have done is to teach the small member of the KPPL Bengkulu with the basic science of biological science of RAFFLESIA. And then we set up the role of this group, voluntary group. The first role is increasing awareness to general public on RAFFLESIA ethnology. You know that Bengkulu has been declared as the land of RAFFLESIA because the first time RAFFLESIA was published as family RAFFLESIA as a genus RAFFLESIA, and the first species published RAFFLESIA ethnology is come from Bengkulu. That's why Bengkulu declare itself as the land of RAFFLESIA. And second one is the role of the group is educating public and on conservation RAFFLESIA. The last role is establishing and coordinating local group and also developing group into the network. This is in the province level. So there are two level of the group. The first is province level. The other is local level. So here is the role of community in a in the local RAFFLESIA. Report on RAFFLESIA and conservation, and then this is in the last one is the important thing is the member can be served as a local guide to RAFFLESIA or ecotourism. This is the network that we have built, province and local people, local group. So we have 10 different group, local people, different places. We have the total network is one province level, and then a 10 with a local 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 site. So here is a distribution of the network from Bengkulu. Actually, if you go to from Bengkulu from the north to the south, from the west to east, you can find this small group, what we call KPPL, Community for Caring Rare Flower, which is RAFFLESIA and also Marco Polo. This is a distribution of the local network. So basically, this is the active network, local network. And this is a strong network for conservation and also for education conservation. So here's the example what we have done for conservation. The first, we try to educate and public awareness activity. This is in form of discussion or talk show in the local and also national TV. This is very active group actually. So this group is very famous in Bengkulu. This guy, this is the gentleman. This one is the leader of this KPPL. So basically, we regularly have a talk show in the local TV, local radio, and national TV also. The other one is education people, educate people. This is a basic tool to educate people with the basic information of biology of RAFFLESIA. You can see in the terminology, the morphology of RAFFLESIA, and then we also sharing, educate, and increasing awareness for the people and other government office in the Bengkulu. We have usually we have a sharing session on Pospalangka, which is RAFFLESIA in Bengkulu. This is the guy is a local people, the local leader of the KPPL in local people. The interesting thing is this is a teacher. These two gentlemen actually a coffee grower, where close to their coffee plantation. We find RAFFLESIA. So the leader is actually the coffee grower. This is interesting thing. So the other thing is we also promoting conservation of RAFFLESIA with public in the public space. Usually, in general, before the COVID, we actually set up promoting conservation RAFFLESIA regularly. So this is me, and this lady is a national journalist. The gentleman also the natural national journalist. It is very good to have the member of the KPPL from journalists, because they actually can write a good article on conservation and on RAFFLESIA. This guy is this gentleman is the local NGO. This is young people. Actually, this is a high school. This is the name of this gentleman says Sofyan RAFFLESIA, the leader of KPPL. So he is the active one. Is very active. So this is the background of the member is from different backgrounds. So it's a very interesting group. So this is what usually we go to in the location of the RAFFLESIA. We try to set up ecotourism based on RAFFLESIA and explore the other resources that can support the ecotourism with RAFFLESIA. And usually we take a look at the culture and also the durian fruit also, and also this is a small small hotel in the forest. So this is that's uh, uh, the element that we have to design ecotourism, basically integrating RAFFLESIA with natural resources for ecotourism. So this is the thing that we recognize that unless the RAFFLESIA will generate uh, economic benefit for local people, then the conservation RAFFLESIA will not be successful. So the best thing is to try to create ecotourism based on RAFFLESIA. So this is one of thing that we recognize the power of social media. Everybody right now has a smartphone, so this is the we use the the smartphone and social media to do activity on conservation of Asia. We recognize the social media is important for reporting flowering of Asia, and then the second one, reaching out not only local, national, but also global viewer. This is the best thing. So by looking the reporting flowering of Asia, then people will go to the site, and then people in the local people uh, can get the benefit, economic benefit from flowering of Asia. And the other important thing is a good tool for promoting ecotourism. So this is a cheap way, efficient way to promote ecotourism through social media. The important thing is this is the social media is also powerful tool on influencing public awareness or opinion. We sometimes find RAFFLESIA was cut by somebody, and then we upload on social media and hope that uh, people will not try again to cut the RAFFLESIA. The last one is by social media we strengthening network within KPPL. So this is the right one is Instagram of the KPPL in the local level. So we have 10 Instagram, and uh, the best way is please follow the Instagram. You can know the activity, the local people, the local farmer, local conservationist activity on protecting RAFFLESIA and exploring ecotourism and that location. So please follow if you have a time, follow the Instagram, and you can see different kind of RAFFLESIA, different kind of uh, forest, different kind thing based on site specific location. So that's all that I can share with you. And if you have any question, we will enjoy to discuss the question. Thank you, Pa Zul, our moderator. This is the last one. Uh, my slide. Thank you. Okay. Hello.
Okay. Wow. Wonderful. Very, very amazing and outstanding presentation by Associate Prof. Dr. Agus. We call it, or in the friendly name, we call it Pak Agus.
Yeah.
So a lot of conservation work or effort has been
Yeah.
done at Bengkulu. And then interesting that I was noticed one of the picture that you share with us just now, the hanging rafflesia,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
one is Arnodi, RAFFLESIA
Yeah, already. Yeah. Yeah.
Arnodi. Okay. When I saw that picture, it's remember me. Me
Mm.
also has an experience with
Yeah.
that kind of the moment
Yeah.
in the Kelantan,
Yeah. Yeah.
the lodging, the Rafflesia area in lodging.
Yeah.
That maybe we'll discuss further. We present further by our second speaker later.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
okay, thank you very much, Pak Agus, for
Okay.
your very outstanding
Okay.
and of information sharing for us just now. But you may stay because we will have a Q&A session after the second speakers, right? Okay, right. Rafflesia Anodi is the biggest size of this type of flowers uh, the after the Rafflesia Kiri. Okay. So just now we heard the sharing or presentation by a prominent research of person in the Rafflesia in Indonesia. So right now we move to the second speakers. All right. Second speakers from the Malaysia, from the local university, which is Associate Prof. Dr. Zul Hamzah. Okay, so Dr. Zul is here. So before we proceed with his talk, so let me introduce a little bit background of him. Right. So Dr. Zul, Associate Prof. Dr. Zul, obtained his Bachelor of Forestry at UPM, University Putra Malaysia, and then completed his Master Science in Applied Remote Sensing, also in University Putra Malaysia, and finally he was completed his Doctor of Philosophy in Natural Resource at University of Malaysia Kelantan. So he has 25 years of experience in academic and also research in natural conservation. And for further information, he was involved in conservation works of Rafflesia in Kelantan for about 14 years, right? And then he also has published numerous articles and journals, also books, two books, about or related to the conservation of Rafflesia. So, Dr. Zul, Associate Professor Zul will deliver a presentation, his sharing, entitled Conservation Work on Rafflesia in Kelantan Peninsula, Malaysia. So before we proceed to his sharing, his talk, so we have a special thing here before we move to the second speaker. We come down and watch the short video that provided from our second speaker, special for this webinar today. This is very fresh video, and he want to show us the majestic of creature of this flower, right? So we watch together the short video provided by Associate Prof. Dr. Zul. Let's go.
Morning, guys. Today, I would like to share with you very exciting creatures in our tropical rainforest. The blooming of Asia on the forest.
Yang tiada rembang saumpama hamba.
This is Professor Curry, the biggest professor in Peninsula Malaysia. And then this is the second biggest power of Rafflesia in the world. the Rafflesia almond. As you can see here, guys, the morphology character of Rafflesia is very beautiful. This one we call petals. Normally, Rafflesia, they have 5 petals, or we call paragon lobes. And then this is the diaphragms of Rafflesia. And then this is the aperture. And then if you go inside, you can see very nice. So this is we call the disc. And then this structure we call the processes. And then if you go in, zoom in, inside there, okay, this is we call the windows. And then the hairy one here is fermental. So, guys, this is very exciting. This is amazing. Thank you.
Hello guys, do you learn about nature? Yes!
Do you love animals?
Yes! Do you love plants?
Yes! If yes, come and join us at Faculty of Earth Science, University Malaysia Kelantan under the program of Natural Resource. So 3, 2, 1, let's go!
Manusia yang jahit ketawa, bumi yang tiada udara, bagai tiada nyawa, pasti hilang suatu hari.
Really amazing, Doctor. This is very special video for us. Thank you very much. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome our second speaker, Associate Prof. Dr. Zul Azman Hamzah. Yeah, with a title, again, I want to mention the conservation works on RAFFLESIA in Kelantan. So, Dr. Zul, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, the virtual floor is yours, Doctor.
Thank you very much to the chairperson, the most handsome, one of the most handsome person in our faculty.
Oh.
Okay. Can you see my presentation now? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I would like to present my my talk on Rafflesia. The title is Conservation Works on Rafflesia in Kelantan, Peninsular Malaysia. So as an introduction, Rafflesia is the biggest whale in the world. It's an icon for tourism, an icon for conservation. That's why to keep this species in our forest is very important. And then this whale is known as many names in local. For example, in Peninsular Malaysia, it was known as bunga pakma. In Kelantan dialect, it's called pakma. And for the local Khmer ethnic group in Lojing, Kelantan, in Gua Musang, they call bunga malam. And in Indonesia, according to Pak Agus, in Padang Guci, it's called as Tigau. And in Thailand, it's known as Buah Put, and in Philippines as Malabo. Okay, and then there are about 14 species of Rafflesia in 5 countries. And then in Malaysia, there are 13 species, which is 8 species in Peninsular Malaysia and 5 species in Sabah and Sarawak. So this is the distribution of Rafflesia in the world. And then the Rafflesia is only occur in this kind of country in Thailand, Malaysia, Brunei, Philippines, and Indonesia. And in Indonesia, there are the most species occur in Indonesia. There are 14 species. this is the update of species in the world now. In Malaysia, there are 13 species. Philippines also 13 species. Thailand with 1 species and Brunei with 1 species. And then in Peninsular Malaysia, there are 8 species in Peninsular Malaysia. I'm sure that after Pak Agus left UKM back to Bengkulu, there are 4 species in Malaysia, but now it's double, it's about 8 species of Rafflesia in Peninsular Malaysia. The most current species that was described by our colleagues from FRIM, there are Rafflesia theomengensis. Theomengensis, this is found in Pulau Tiomang. Then in Kelantan alone, there are 3 species of Rafflesia, which is Rafflesia cantley, Rafflesia sumei, and Rafflesia curry. And then the biggest problem of Rafflesia in Peninsular Malaysia is we found in Kelantan, in Gua Musang, in Lojeng. And then there are another species also found in Kelantan, in Ulusan. It's nearby Kota Baru in Machang. This is the species of cantley. And another species, which is I've never seen that, is Rafflesia sumei in Gunung Chama. So today I would like to share with you the chronology of conservation works on Rafflesia in Kelantan. Okay, so in Kelantan, it was started in 2008. There is, I know that there is the words from the other university, from our late Prof. Kamarudin Masaleh and their team from UKM that came to Kelantan and do the Rafflesia study in Kelantan. But here in my presentation, I would like to focus on when UMK was formed in 2007. So one of the faculty established in this university is Faculty of Earth Science. So we are concentrating on to conserve one of our objective or agenda to conserve the natural resources that occur in the state of Kelantan. So during that time, our focus is in Lojeng. So we held the expedition to Lojeng Highland in April 2008 to document all the flora and fauna in this area. So this is the beginning of conservation efforts of Rafflesia in Kelantan. And then this expedition is very big. It's involved more than 100 participants from local universities, for example, from UMS, UKM, UPM, and other universities. And then this expedition also participates by Forestry Department, Wildlife Department, and other institutions, for example, FRIM and etc. And then we stay in the forest for 3 weeks, and then we document all the flora and fauna in this area, including the Rafflesia. So a lot of discussion happened during that time. So we are very excited because this is the first expedition that held by University Malaysia Kelantan in this area. And then I formed one group to study on Rafflesia in this area. So we stay with the aid of Orang Asli from the Temria ethnic group in this area. We're able to identify 26 population of Rafflesia in this area during that time. And then this is the location of the Rafflesia in the area. In 3 kampung, which is in Kampung Kuala Rengi, Kampung Cedau, and Kampung Jedek. And then in Kampung Jedek, the biggest Rafflesia is found in this area. And as you can see there in this picture, most of the all the area is not in the protected area. Means that all the Rafflesia site or Rafflesia population is outside the protected area, outside the foreign reserve. So this is very critical because this area is subject to development. So we have to do something on this. And then in that year as well, in December 2008, we held a seminar to discuss on our finding on what is the flora and fauna in lodging area. And then during that time, we produced one books, the pictorial books that launched by our Sultan Kelantan. And then during that seminar, we come up with the one resolution that the RAFFLESIA in lodging need to be conserved. And then in February 2010, we produced another book. This is very comprehensive book. It resulted from our expedition in lodging by that time. And then one proposal in 2010 was sent to the state government by UMK to conserve the area 1,000 hectare in Kampung Jadid as a RAFFLESIA conservation area. And the state government declared that in July 2010, after a year, this area was gazetted as RAFFLESIA conservation area. So this is the document to show that the gazetted of this area. And then after that, there are a lot of activity, research activity has been done in this area. So we established a group of researcher from many institutions, for example, from UKM, UPM, and Fsb to join us in Kelantan in this area to do a research in this area. So this is several study that has been done in Kelantan in lodging related to RAFFLESIA. For example, growth and mortality rate of RAFFLESIA, pollination, seed disposal, host plant ecotourism, and flower scent. And then this is the latest pictures of RAFFLESIA. I put the caption that MCO is good for conservation of RAFFLESIA. So during our MCO movement control order, there are no people visit this area for more than 2 years. Then after we visit this area, there's a lot of flower buds in this area. It means that it was proof that if we conserve this area, means that if you open this area for tourism, so it needs a few trails there. If you monitor that trail is not the flower or buds of RAFFLESIA is not encouraging, so we have to not to allow people to visit the area. We just open another trail for visitors. It shows that when there is no encouragement from the people to visit this area, a lot of bud is flowering in this area. A lot of bud, yes, in this area. And then I want to share with you my pictures on RAFFLESIA in this area. When I visit, on the first day there are nearly to bloom, and then after tomorrow morning I went to the area, I see the blooming of RAFFLESIA on the first day. That gives me the idea to make the video that you've seen before. And then in this area also we'll do a lot of public awareness on RAFFLESIA, because in Kelantan, before 2008, when I go to school and other public agency talk about RAFFLESIA, they ask me, is it RAFFLESIA in Kelantan? Is it RAFFLESIA? You have RAFFLESIA in Kelantan? They do not know. So most of the people in Kelantan, when we talk about RAFFLESIA, they feel that RAFFLESIA is in Sabah or in Sarawak or in Indonesia. There is no RAFFLESIA in Kelantan. So I said to him that, yes, we have RAFFLESIA in Kelantan. And then even our RAFFLESIA is biggest as compared to the flowers of RAFFLESIA from Sabah and Sarawak. So they are very sharp. Okay, so this is the people do not aware the the occurrence of rafflesia in Kelantan. And then, in terms of international recognition, also we received the recognition from the international body that in 2017 received the gold medal and also the special award from South Korea on our effort on conserve rafflesia in the state of Kelantan. And then in terms of development, there are the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding that was signed by the state government of Kelantan with a few bodies in Malaysia. And then we want to develop this area in terms of infrastructure and etc. So we start doing the development plan for this area, and it's starting in 2014. So we just improve the facilities surrounding the area. Also, we plan what we want to do in this area. It's involved a lot of money, but now it's still it's still in progress. So if you visit lodging now, there is the very nice good way to this area. You can see now there is a structure how to enter this area. So we are very glad that our state government is finally aware that Rafflesia can attract a lot of tourists and also benefit to the local people in this area. So this is the one of the signboard that when we want to enter the Rafflesia area, there are the signboards like this is put it by the state government to show that the area of Rafflesia. And then hopefully that probably after a few years, we can come up with this, the good facilities to attract the international tourists to come to Rafflesia Conservation Area. So we pray for that these kind of facilities will be developed in lodging. And then in last 2 months, in February 22nd, we put the stamp on conservation of this area by the ignoration of Rafflesia conservation part by the Crown Princes of Kelantan. Means that this area it cannot be turned to another land use. It cannot be converted to other area. This Rafflesia conservation area is still this area because we put the stamp in this by our Highness, the Crown Princes of Kelantan. So this area is officially is a conservation area for Kelantan. So this is the occasion during that time. So I briefed the conferences about this area and also the delegation. But then there are several issues and challenges on Rafflesia. It's still the challenge of Rafflesia in Kelantan. One of the challenge is the large-scale and unsustainable agriculture development in this area. It's still there. It's still there. A lot of areas surrounding the Rafflesia conservation area have been converted to large-scale agriculture. So this is very sometimes make me feel very sad that why happened in this area, because the development, even though it's happened outside the protected area, but the impact from the development is also can give the impact to this area, because this is one ecosystem. So, for example, that there are the river in this area is full of sedimentations, and you see the color of the water. So it's like teh tarik. So it's like a milieu. So I feel very, very sad when you see this kind of thing happen. And then also the landslide happened because this agriculture practice is not all, but some of the agriculture, they just do something like this. This is highland. They plant tomato and etc. When the rain happened, there was a landslide, happen along the highway in this area. So this is just outside the RAFFLESIA conservation area. And then, I bring to you the image of me. This is taken in 2010. It's one pristine stream in this area. And then look at it in just 5 years, in 2015, the same area, but the impact because of the it's maybe because of the large-scale development of the area on agriculture. And then this area also attracts a lot of tourists to come. There are 15 to 30 international tourists that pay visit to this area on daily basis. Okay, and then a lot also the local tourists also came to this area, but the management plan how to taking care of RAFFLESIA and tourists is not formula yet. So it's urgent. It's very urgent for the state government and also for the other related agency to formulate the management plan for tourists and ecotourism, for ecotourism and conservation in this area. And also the Timur ethnic group, we need to educate them. We have to give them the awareness that, the full awareness that to keep the flower for tourism is more benefit. You just cut off to sell to the few people for medicinal purposes. So I always visit this area and talk with them, but we need the very systematic education or program how to educate these people. They can be our guardian of the forest to taking care of RAFFLESIA in this area. So we need to do something to educate them. So a way forward for RAFFLESIA in Kelantan, let me read this. RAFFLESIA conservation area in Kelantan should be recognized as locally and internationally as the international center of excellence in nature conservation, ecotourism, and scientific research. So hopefully that this area, if we plan and do something that it can be the international center, international center for nature conservation, ecotourism, and research. So with that, I end my presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I was mute. Okay, thank you, Associate Prof. Dr. Zul Azman Hamzah, for the interesting and amazing sharing about the RAFFLESIA work of conservation at Kelantan. So a lot of things that you have shared just now with the process, starting from the how to detect the population of RAFFLESIA and then proceed to the conservation process with the involvement with the local agency and authority to enhance the conservation effort at Kelantan, as well as we noticed from the presentation from our first speaker just now, Pak Agus. I'm very impressed that Bengkulu have published or proposed a strategic and action plan for the conservation of RAFFLESIA. This is very interesting, which is maybe can be implemented also at Kelantan, in my experience, maybe. Okay, in my opinion. All right. Okay. So I would like to give a big applause for both speakers today for this such of amazing, interesting, and outstanding information about the RAFFLESIA. Okay, either in Bengkulu or in Kelantan. Okay, uh, this is flower is very stunning and mesmerizing. That maybe not many of us have an opportunity yet to discover life uh, uh, this flower. So I think with all the information and that presented by both speakers today, will provide us with a knowledge of for the effort of conserving this majesty or precious creature. Uh, so very well, our ladies and gentlemen, our participants. So now we come to the opinion, question, and answer session. So if we see at the comment, I think I noticed that a few questions that have left by the participant. So before we proceed to the comment, before we proceed to the question that give by the participant, I just have one question. Maybe either of Dr. Zul or Pak Agus want to answer. Is it true that this flower, Rafflesia, has a bad smell? Maybe this is for the knowledge for the outside, for the participant here.
Bagus.
Yeah, yeah,
Answer.
yeah. It smell like a rotten meat, I guess. So that's has a bad smell. Usually, after the day of tree of flowering, then the smell is so strong. It's look like the smell of the rotten flower. So that's why they attract the fly, go to the rafflesia and take uh, flying over the rafflesia, opening rafflesia. The best, the strongest smell is in the third day of flowering plant, I guess.
Oh, okay. Right. So thank you, Pak Agus, for your response. Okay. So now, Dr. Zul, do you want to respond, or let me just proceed to the question from the participant?
So, okay, in Kelantan there are smell, but not that bad. You can go very close to the flower. It's not that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad. So if people say that very smell is very bad, no, it's not.
It's
Go.
not.
That's it.
Maybe it just depends on the person, or maybe it just mitos. Okay, okay. Let me come to the first question from our colleague, Dr. Azhar Abbas. Dr. Zul, this question refer to Dr. Zul, Associate Pro Dr. Zul. Is it good that people did not aware about Rafflesia in Kelantan, so that they are not coming to disturb the precious flower? What do you think?
It is a very tricky question from Dr. Azhar. I think he better than me and to answer this question. But the thing is that what I mean through my presentation, people in Kelantan, in general, the society in Kelantan, they do not aware that there is Rafflesia in Kelantan. But the Rafflesia in Kelantan has been visited by the tourists from, they came through the Cameron Highland to this area. So it's not that, if people do not know that, it's not listed the flower, because we want people to know, to visit to this area. The thing is that the way how we visit, how we behave in their spot or in their area is need to give them the awareness that. So you have to walk like this, you have to follow certain instruction, etc. So that's it. So
That's it from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Associate Prof. Dr. Zul, for your response. Uh, uh, so before me proceed, I proceed to the next question. The second question, I just want to inform that we was very lucky. We was very happy today for this webinar because our webinar has been participated by various industry agency, institution, and also from our neighbor country, from the members of the university from the Bengkulu, okay, such as let me read first. From the UMS, from local KKM, Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia, Frame Forest Research Institute Malaysia, KIAS, and from our neighborhood country, from National Museum Western Visayas, Pertubuhan Pencinta Warisan Alam Semula Jadi Malaysia, and also there is a participant from Pusat Jantung Sarawak, Malaysian Nature Society, and a lot of participants today. So thank you very much for joining us. Right. So next, I want to read the next question. The second question, maybe this is a general question from Dr. Umi, Dr. Nushahiru Umirah. Why do we need to protect Rafflesia? As far as I know, this flower is a parasitic flowering plant. Maybe I think this is general question. Maybe any of us speakers want to respond to this.
So, okay, Dr. Umi is my colleague as well. So why we need to protect the RAFFLESIA? Because RAFFLESIA is an icon for tourism and conservation. Many people willing to spend a lot of money from from other region, from other country to visit to go to see, to enjoy, to appreciate the RAFFLESIA in the world. So it means that this is the flagship attraction to attract the international tourists. That's why we need to protect the RAFFLESIA. One. The second one is RAFFLESIA is the symbol for conservation. So when the RAFFLESIA is there, we have to protect the whole area, the whole ecosystem. Because RAFFLESIA cannot live without their own, it need the ecosystem. And also we need to protect this area, this RAFFLESIA, because give the benefit to the local community. Maybe Prof. Agung have something to add on this.
Okay. The thing that interesting about the RAFFLESIA is if we take a look the general plan, we have leaf, trunk, and also through root. But if we take a look at the RAFFLESIA, the physical that we see is only the flower and flower bud. This is the unique. This is actually the from scientific reason. This is a unique plant. Yes, parasitic plant, but this is a very true parasitic plant. The only we can see the plant is flower. There is no a leaf. There is no trunk. Thing like that. This is very interesting. There are some information right now ecologically that we really do not know how this RAFFLESIA distribution, how the pollination, we still do not know the mechanism of pollination. We still do not know how one RAFFLESIA can be found in many places like Arnoldi, and the biggest flower of the world. We can find that RAFFLESIA in Aceh and also in the Lampung. We really do not know dispersal. We really do not know. The last one is the RAFFLESIA is going to be like indicator, a good indicator species for good ecosystem. If we take a look at the RAFFLESIA, then we assume that the habitat is a good indicate a good ecosystem. That's a thing that I add to Pak Azul.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Dr. Zul and Pak Agus. Okay. So the keyword here is maybe for me is unique and iconic. Uh, that's why we need to protect this precious flower because it can attract tourists, can promote a local as presented by Pak Agus just now, Rafflesia, uh, bring to the conservation award, conservation effort, and then promote a local scenery, culture, and also the local food. That is why this is very important to protect this flower, right? So next, we have a lot of questions actually. So I will try to entertain all the question here. Hopefully, our speaker is okay for all the question given by the participant here. So next question come from Dr. Firdaus, our director of Trace. Okay, Dr. He asked interesting sharing Dr. Agus and Dr. Zul. The question is it possible to propagate Rafflesia artificially as part of the conservation effort? Maybe any one of you want to respond? Can propagate or not?
So why it's hard to propagate? The best thing is we do like transplanting. We actually move the whole host of the host plant and with the flower pot from one side to the another side. This was done by Dutch colonies in the 18th century in Bogor Botanical Garden. Just with transplanting, we carry the whole host plant and the flower pot from one side to another side. This is one thing. The second thing is the grafting. We plant the host plant and then you take from another side and then we grafting to another side. This is what's done right now in Bogor Botanical Garden. This is the thing that we have done for ex situ conservation. Propagation, I guess it's almost impossible. We try to for teacher culture, it's not successful. That's my question on the my answer to the question. Okay, Pak Zul.
So there are a successful story on propagation of Rafflesia in Indonesia, especially in Bogor. But our colleagues in Sabah also they have a story on conservation or on propagation of Rafflesia by transplant. That's not only done by the government agency, but also by the private and also individuals in Sabah. And also in Sarawak, there are, a few things. In Kelantan, we try to do the both thing. Know that the tissue culture is still not successful, but we're still trying to come up with the special formula to propagate the Rafflesia in the lab. Hopefully, a few years from now, there are the Rafflesia with growth in our campus in EMK Kelantan. Okay, but that probably is just a dream, but we work on that on access to conservation of Rafflesia. But the thing is that if Rafflesia is successful, cultivate by the people, so the value of Rafflesia in one is probably very go down because of that. So this is the positive and negative thing that we have to say when we talk about the propagation of Rafflesia officially. Thank you.
Pak Zul, Pak Zul, I saw the local people in Pahang. They take long time ago with Pak Kamarudin. We visited a house close to the forest, and the local people take the rafflesia with the hose from the forest and plant it in the house and flowering several times, I guess. I saw that local people are killed.
During that time.
Yeah, it's like 2005, 2006, when Pak Kamarudin with me go to in close to the forest in Pahang. I didn't remember the village name of the Pahang. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So we move to the next question. The third question maybe. From I think this one similar to the previous question, just different kind of type of question. Yuvin Raj, hello doctor. I would like to ask if we have the conservation park for the Rafflesia, does it comfort the space for its growth as is known as a white plant?
Okay. Can I answer this question, Pak Agus? I also just trigger. This question is like this. Yes, we have the Rafflesia Conservation Area or Rafflesia Conservation Park, which is in Kelantan. We have in Lojeng, in Gomusa, we have in Sabah, we have Rafflesia Conservation Area. I start also in Indonesia, they have the Rafflesia Conservation Area. But the thing is that in terms of space, that most of the area is this area. Most of the area, it's not all, maybe most of the area is the originally growth by Rafflesia. So we just taking care. We just protect the area for Rafflesia to grow space. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Agus, want to respond?
I guess the problem is we have rafflesia inside the forest. Then we can set up a conservation park of the rafflesia. The problem is I see that in Bengkulu, the reporting flowering rafflesia usually at the private land. Also, Pak Azul also gave information that if I'm not mistaken, most of the rafflesia in Kelantan also outside the forest or protected forest. So this is the problem. How we can protect the rafflesia in the private land? This is the main problem in Bengkulu, because most of the reported flowering rafflesia habitat is in the private land. So the best way is we develop the what we call local people participation to protect their forest. This is the problem. If we find the rafflesia inside the forest, it is not a real problem. You can set up and we can establish the rafflesia park of the forest. But the real problem is the rafflesia found outside the forest. That's the problem we have faced in Bengkulu. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So next question from Jaimul Lambun. He asked about technical how to grow this plant. I think bagaimana untuk memastikan bud ini dapat tumbuh dengan banyak dan berkembang sehingga blooming, kerana banyak bud di tempat kami tidak berjaya untuk dikembangkan kerana layu atau rosak begitu sahaja. Pak Agus, maybe you want to respond?
Pak Agus.
Okay. The problem is in Bengkulu, I guess almost the same thing. Maybe in Malaysia and Kelantan, small bud tend to have high mortality. Less than 9 centimeter, likely like 80% will be die out. After 9 centimeter, actually 70% will be blooming. This is why the size of the flower bud define the flowering thing, the flowering rafflesia. If your in your site you have a flower bud with less than 9 centimeter, then most of that flower blood bud will be died. But after you have like a 10 centimeter or 15 centimeter, then you likely can estimate and can that flower bud will be blooming soon. That's in my experience in Bengkulu. How about in Kelantan, Pak Zul?
In London as well, the mortality rate is very high, especially when during the wet season. So the small bud is tend to 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 die because of the weather and etc. So menjawab soalan Jaimon tadi tu memang begitulah Pak Tan. Dia memang Rafflesia ni dia kadar dia bud dia daripada untuk berkembang tu sangat-sangat slim so that's why kita perlu banyak bud yang tu kita perlu jaga apa dia tu kita sekarang ni masalah dengan turis lah. Kalau turis tu masuk dia boleh mengganggu trampling dan sebagainya. So we have to make sure that the tetrastigma is very healthy to contain untuk supaya menjadi satu medium yang sesuai untuk bud tu tumbuh dengan bagus. Sebabnya tidak semua bud tu akan sampai kepada the blooming Rafflesia, sampai kepada disease. Okay. The mortality rate is very high because of the several things, hujan dan sebagainya. Thank you.
Okay, alright, a very interesting information about this flower. I think we move to the next question. We have another four questions. Is it okay for the speakers to respond?
Yeah, it's okay.
I think four questions is enough. From the Mr. Saiful. Salam, Dr. Zul. As I know, for now, in Kedah, there are no record of Rafflesia species. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there are record in Hutan Simpan Belukar Semang, Forest Reserve, Belukar Semang, bordering Perak, Kedah. There are any chance that Rafflesia species can be found in Kedah? What do you think?
This is my colleague, Mr. Saiful. Are you Saiful? Okay, there is a Rafflesia in Kedah. Everybody knows there are Rafflesia in Kedah, but there is no official record that Rafflesia is found in Kedah. That's it. So if you go to USM with Dr. Rahman also, they know that. The local also know that it's Rafflesia. That's it. But the thing is that when you want to go there to record, they say put in the box there. Because in the state of one of the state, there is no Rafflesia in Peninsular Malaysia, is Kedah. But everybody knows that there is Rafflesia in Kedah. Thank you.
Okay, this is latest information just now. Okay, so the third last question from the Nelson Chu. He asked about, does hybrids occur frequently in the wild? Is there any possibility of this flower may be hybrid?
Bagus.
Well, I do not believe the explanation of the Rafflesia, because if we take a look the flowering Rafflesia, mostly male, and it is very rare to find two blooming Rafflesia in the same time in the same place. So I do not believe the hybrid of the RAFFLESIA because of we see flowering RAFFLESIA mostly male. We really hard to find a flowering female RAFFLESIA. So I do not believe hybrid on the RAFFLESIA. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Does it want to add, or is it possibility to hybrid this flower? No.
I don't know. I don't have any answer for these questions, but you know, I don't. And you
Like
know
a
how
durian. Okay. All right. Okay. So we proceed to the second last question, maybe, because I noticed that there is another question at. So from the Sulaiman Abdul Salam, does the smell of Rafflesia varies with its species? Just now I asked you the smell of the Rafflesia, but now Dr. Sulaiman asked about different species. Is it different smell or the same for all the species?
maybe Dr. Agus have a good to
Also,
ask.
you have to answer that.
You know,
Spend,
I don't have
yes,
a good
yeah,
sense of smell.
yeah. The smell is like rotten meat, I guess. Depend on the day when you visit the flowering plant. If you visit the first day, you hardly smell that kind of odors. Uh, After 7 days, you cannot smell anything. The best way to smell the Rafflesia is the second, the third, and fourth, the day of flowering. It's for my opinion with the Rafflesia annually. I do not know the other species. The other species like Soleriana, also Padma, the smell is not stronger as the smell of the Rafflesia arnoldii. This is for my experience. How about you, Pak Zul?
I'm okay with the smell of Rafflesia. It's not as strong as Amphiphallus.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the smell is not for the human; it's for insect. So, so don't worry about it. But it might be different from one species to another species, I guess, because the size is different, and etc. Maybe the smell also different. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the answers. Maybe the volume of smell is different because of the size, as mentioned by Dr. Zol. Okay, I think this is the last question because we have a constraint about a time. Okay, from Aden Talu. Aden Talu, I think he is our international student from Indonesia. Okay, from Faculty of Science. He referred to the Pak Agus. Okay, Prof. Agus, are there some people who deliberately try to pick or take this flower in Bengkulu? And what do they take it for?
Well, in the past, some people cut the flower bud, but they didn't take that flower bud to another place. What I saw in the field is the people just cut the the flower bud with no specific reason. As in the other part of people, the other part of place, they actually they take the bud and then sell to a market for medicine purposes. But in Bengkulu, what we have experienced is somebody cut the bud and with no specific reason. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Agus. Hopefully, that was answer the question from the Eden Taluk. Okay. There is another question. There is a further question by Nestle. Maybe I think this is the last question, because we have to stop before 1. Okay. Nestle Chu again. He asks. He want to. He further. He or she maybe. He. Okay. He said that, however, there are 3 species in royal balloon found. 3 species found in royal balloon. There was a rumor on Rafflesia azlani being hybrid with Cantley some years ago. How to respond? That is, you want to respond?
There are 2 people who can ask these questions. One is Pak Teh, okay, and then it's probably my colleagues from Frame, Fuad, Siti Munira can answer the question. For me, I have no idea on this. I'm really sorry. I cannot answer yet your question. Shoot forward. I will forward your question to Pak Teh.
Okay. I think that's all only for the questions. Even though we still have another question here. Do you okay? Do you mind to respond? The next question.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So I just proceed with the maybe how many times I said the last question. So I choose one of them. Maybe this is the general question from the Zahran Narhas. Okay, Zahran Narhas. Is there any effect to the rafflesia if we touch it?
Bagus.
Answer. You show the picture that you touch the berry.
To me, I feel wonderful. I feel wonderful. That's it. There is no effect. But I don't know. It's probably there is no study on allergy on this one. But as far as I'm concerned, and also from my student, etc., there is no report that when we touch the officer is the effect on allergy, etc. But when we touch the officer, it feel that fantastic. Fantastic. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. So it's nothing happen if we touch the rafflesia so far. Even me also have an experience when visit to the lodging rafflesia park, rafflesia there. So I think so far nothing happened for the human as they touch the flowers. Okay. So hopefully that will answer the question from the Zahran. Okay, with the last question, I think that's all the Q&A session and also the opinion for this international webinar series for today. Because we have a constraint of the time allocated for this webinar, I have to say that this is the last question from all the participants. But for any further question for the participant here or any coming participant that will view this recording webinar later, maybe can just leave the comment or question in the comment room, Facebook, and then our speakers, Pak Agus and also Dr. Zul, will respond later. Okay, for those have any question. Okay, maybe Pak Agus and Dr. Zul can visit our Facebook, UMK official. Okay, to respond any question that given by the participant. Okay. So I think that's all only. I am as a moderator on behalf of this event. Would like to say thank you very much to both speaker, Pak Agus and also Dr. Zul, for provide us a very interesting sharing, and also to the audience who join us live on Facebook. Okay, they're coming from different and various agency, industry, institution, and also from outside Malaysia, especially in Indonesia. Okay, I would like to apologize for any mistake or wrong during me handle this webinar. Okay. Hopefully, this webinar will be beneficial for everyone, for participants that joined us just now. And we will see you in the next webinar series that organized by our faculty members soon. So thank you again. Thank you very much again for Associate Prof. Dr.
Thank
Agus,
you, Pak Agus.
Radia.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
again, Associate Prof. Dr. Zul Hazman Hamzah, okay, for giving us a very wonderful sharing about RAFFLESIA. Okay, I think for the
Terima
local,
kasih.
thank
See
you
you
very much for
next
all
July,
joining
Pak
this
Zul.
webinar.
Yeah.
Okay.
See you.
So one last message for those who want to visit the RAFFLESIA, want to see the RAFFLESIA in your eyes, in your big eyes, can go to the Lodging Highland in Kelantan for the Peninsula Malaysia, or also can go to the Royal Belong State Park, and then for the Sabah, for those who live in the Indonesia, maybe can visit to the Bengkulu. As I was noticed, the Bengkulu is the land of the RAFFLESIA. Is it correct, Pak Agus?
Oh, yeah, correct. Yeah. Maybe you can visit the IG of the KPPL. Just take a look the Instagram and searching for KPPL, and you can see the activity of the group of the KPPL. Okay. Thank you, Pak Nur, Pak Zul. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See you in Bengkulu, Pak Agus.
Yeah. See you in July.
Yeah.
If you want to go to Bengkulu, let me know.
Okay, but maybe you can share the link of IG from KPPL in our Facebook. Maybe our viewers can notice about the website, IG, Instagram, for them to follow.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much again, our speakers. And then with that, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to all. See you again in the next webinar series. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Pak,